Leveling is faster and more fun than ever. In under 3 hours, I could make level 50 on the public test realm. And we didn't even use a potion or have the seasonal blessing for more XP or a teammate for even more XP multipliers happening. And there's two reasons why leveling is so fast and so much more fun at the moment. The first reason is the new World Tier bonus XP, because World Tier 2 is now giving 50% bonus XP and World Tier 3 is 150%. That's 50% more than usual. And then World Tier 4 is 250% instead of 200% bonus XP. Now you have to understand that these bonus XPs multiply with the other XP multipliers. So if you then drink a potion, that is bonus XP. If you have a teammate close by, that is also bonus XP. And then the seasonal one, that will all multiply with each other and make you faster than ever. I mean, 10 hours, 12 hours to level 100 should be possible to then actually enjoy the end game, because we have tormented bosses, the pit, whatever season 4 end game will bring, masterworking, tempering, and all the builds to try out. Now, the second part that makes leveling so much fun is Helltides existing from World Tier 1 or respective 2 onwards. You can start your character, skip the campaign, and then straight up walk into a Helltide. And here it gets really interesting because the Helltides have the Hellmark meter, so the danger bar filling up, where you then suddenly get swarmed by a bunch of elites. You can't get living steel in World Tier 2. That is something to keep in mind. Regardless of not being able to get living steel from the chest though, you can pick up the cinders, you can kill everything, and then you can open the chests, and these chests are again an XP boost. But on top of these chests, Helltide have another new thing. And that would be Helltide adjacent whispers. Yes, tortured gifts opened, assist Iron Wolves, that's by the way probably going to be the season 4 theme, disrupt cultist rituals, and raise demonic structures. And that all gives you whisper XP to then hand that in for even more XP boost. Now, one thing I was heavily interested in during leveling is how are rare items going to feel? Because the yellow items only have 2 stats instead of 3, and your legendaries only have 3 stats. That's a significant nerf to before, because now as we're jumping world tiers, and as soon as you go to World Tier 3, your resistances are going to receive a minus. And if you jump World Tier 4, your resistance are going to get a minus again, which means we're going to be essentially weaker. And we can't upgrade our gear 4 times anymore to straight up get more bonus resistance. First, let's look at World Tier 2 to 3 with the Capstone Dungeon. The Capstone Dungeon at level 35 was a complete utter joke. The main reason is that you have every single aspect to enchant ready. Your Codex of Power is full of aspects. Every single aspect is in there, so you can make every single build work. Even though your aspects might be the lowest of the low rolls, for some it doesn't matter, especially for Minion Necromancer, where even the lowest of the low rolls is still good. And the rare items only having 2 stats is not as bad as it sounds, because all the stats are so much better and not useless anymore. Because what you're going to get mostly is life per second, armor, maximum life, intelligence, or bonus damage. Since they removed all the useless affixes, even though you only get 2, these 2 are going to be somewhat useful. Before, you might have had all the crazy affixes on your rare and legendary gear, but you had the chance that they're going to be control impaired, duration reduction, shrine buff duration, movement speed after killing an elite, damage reduction when injured, 35% more damage versus injured. All this kind of weird stats. So you might have had a 4 stat item, but 3 were kind of like, and you never had any kind of max life. I mean, getting max life before for a world tier jump felt weird. I've been having over 1,000, 2,000 HP continuously through my leveling journey, which is crazy because usually you have to actually make effort to get that going. But now coming back to the topic of resistances, because your rings only have 4%, 6%, 8% resistance. And when I jump from World Tier 3 to World Tier 4, and you receive the huge resistance minus for being in World Tier 4, it's a bummer to get that up straight away, especially as you don't have your Paragon straight up going crazy with all the points. And the biggest problem here is that you can't upgrade your gear these 4 times that you used to, and that instantly brought the 8% resistance on your ring up to 12-14%, and that on the ring and the amulet, so that you instantly could get another 20% all resistance plus just like that. At this point, you might have to straight away temper to get more resistance, roll an all resistance stat on your boots slash I think pants can have it too. That is kind of mandatory to just exist. It was a bit of a struggle, but the general power level was quite amazing. I am level 62, 4 hours and 30 minutes into the game, and I could clear a tier 41 dungeon. Why is that such an important number? Because a tier 41 dungeon at level 62 means that you're getting 925 gear already. That means the absolute endgame gear, because enemies are 95 plus, and when they're 95 plus, everything is dropping as 925 gear. One thing we have to talk about is the legendary drop rate. The legendary drop rate is doubled on the test server right now, and I'll have to say, if that is the double drop rate, it's gonna be rough to actually get legendary, ancestral legendary items, because a normal nightmare dungeon did barely drop me anything at all. Whereas if I was killing Grégoire the Galvanic Saint, that is the Helltide, that's the Helltide boss ladder boss for the steel. And I had a lot of steel because I was leveling with the Helltide. Interesting point. I mean, I reached level 62 and I already had 15 living steel by just existing and having fun and leveling in the Helltide. But I could kill him with level 62 already, and he dropped a bunch of ancestrals. So that was a way to get them. But in general, I would say that this doubled ancestral drop rate chance should probably be in the game. Otherwise, you're going to be struggling to actually get things together. I mean, you might get 1 piece of ancestral per nightmare dungeon. And now I know they said we want less quantity in loot and more quality. But since yellow gear is completely useless and it's only there to disenchant, and if a normal nightmare dungeon only gives me 2 or 1 piece of gear, that's not less quantity of loot, that's no loot. I mean, right now, the most amount of loot I have received is in Helltide. So nightmare dungeons for equipment didn't make any sense. At this point, if you're level 92, 93, and the Helltide is going to be 95 because it's always 3 levels higher, that's where you're going to farm gear. That's where you're going to farm your 925 gear. But farming it in nightmare dungeons felt useless. Farming it in a pit felt useless. Even farming it in the boss ladder, that was okay. But the main gear I've gotten was from Helltides from the chest. That felt a bit weird because I need to do nightmare dungeons to level up my glyph XP. But if then nightmare dungeons are in no way supporting me in a loot perspective, that's going to make them feel double annoying to do and like a complete chore just to get my glyph XP up. That being said, I kind of want Whispers to give me glyph XP too at some point, so I don't just have to do nightmare dungeons for glyph XP. But maybe Season 4 is going to have a mechanic for that, because we don't actually know what the Season 4 mechanic has to offer. And this is where it now gets double, triple interesting, because I've leveled up super fast with the Helltide mostly, and Helltide is the fastest to do right now. Faster than Domheim tunnels, faster than anything. But we will get a Season 4 mechanic on top of that, and that Season 4 mechanic could give us Season 4 adjacent Whispers, just like Season 3 did, with the Arcane Tremors and everything in the Season 3 level zone, that you had a bunch of Whispers there that you could continuously do. Then we're going to get the bonus XP for the Seasonal Cinders. And, well, I mean, maybe we get some kind of tunnels, maybe we get some kind of special zone, some kind of special dungeons, anything to actually do, plus certain powers, items, loot that will make our character even more powerful than it is already, to then zoom through the content faster. And it has been really nice with all the new affixes, with the Codex of Powers, to just have your build actually work throughout the game, because you don't struggle anymore. Let's say you want to play a Shockwave Druid, an overpowered Druid. That means from level 1 on, not from level 1 on, but you get the gist, you can have the Shockwave aspect to make that build work. And that works for every build. You need a certain aspect, it will be in your Codex of Powers. It will be the weakest version, but it is there. For example, for my minion build, I can have the +2 skeleton mages, +2 skeleton warriors at every step of the game cooking. And if I want to have my skeleton mages to cast Blizzard, no problem. I can have that on a ring, I can have that on a piece of gear, I can carry it with me, all leveling long. And if you want to play that new Dust Devil Barbarian, well, guess what? That aspect is available as well and makes leveling so much more fun. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? New leveling, Helltide hogging, being there and slaying demons, gathering baneful hearts for then World Tier 4. Does that sound fun to you? Or do you hate that leveling is so fast now? If you're looking for a proper Necromancer build to try out that is absolutely incredible, clearing the highest pit levels, enjoy. Have a good day.